I found my missing friend on a dark web live stream. Part 1. I didn't believe the dark web stories at first. You know the ones. The forums full of anonymous users claiming they'd seen terrible things the normal internet would never allow. Live streams where people paid cryptocurrency to control what happened on screen. Stories about missing people showing up in places they never should have been. Most of it sounded like internet horror fiction. But one night, at 2:13 a.m., I saw something that made my stomach drop so hard I nearly threw up. And it started because I couldn't sleep. My name's Tyler. I'm 23, living in a small apartment just outside Pittsburgh. I work late shifts editing video for a marketing company, which means my sleep schedule is completely wrecked. That night, I was scrolling through Reddit, killing time, when I saw a post in a shady forum called Hidden Streams. The title read, "Live Event, Audience Controlled, 500 Viewers Max." Underneath was a long string of random characters followed by .onion. Normally, I ignored that stuff, but curiosity has a way of getting under your skin. I copied the link. 20 minutes later, I had Tor open. The site loaded slowly, like it was dragging itself out of the mud. Black background, white text, no logos, no branding, just a single video window and a countdown. 0 hours, 3 minutes, 41 seconds. Below it was a chat box filled with usernames like Skull Merchant, Red Market, Silent Buyer, Bleak Vision. People were typing things like, "Is this the new host? Hope tonight's good. Anyone got ETH ready?" That should have been my first warning. But the countdown hit 0 before I could think too hard about it. The video started. At first, the screen was completely dark. Then, a dim overhead bulb flickered on. The camera looked like it was mounted high in a corner of a room. The image was grainy, almost security camera quality. Concrete walls, a single metal chair, a stained mattress in the corner. My stomach tightened because it looked exactly like the kind of basement you see in kidnapping documentaries. Then someone stepped into frame. He wore a black hoodie and a cheap plastic mask, the kind you'd buy at a dollar store around Halloween. The chat exploded. "Yes! New episode! Let's go!" The masked guy dragged the metal chair to the center of the room. Then he left the frame again. For a moment, nothing happened. Then he came back. And he wasn't alone. He was pulling someone. A girl. Her hands were zip-tied behind her back. A dirty cloth was wrapped over her mouth. Her hair hung in tangled strands over her face as she struggled weakly against him. The chat started typing faster. "Is she new? Looks young. Turn her around." My chest tightened. This had to be fake. Some kind of twisted performance. It had to be. The masked guy forced her into the chair and tied her wrists to the back. Then he ripped the cloth from her mouth. She gasped for air. The camera angle showed her face for the first time, and my heart stopped. Because I knew her. I knew her. Her name was Emily Carter, and she'd been missing for 8 months. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that Emily wasn't just some girl from the news. Emily Carter was my best friend, and according to the police, she was supposed to be dead.
Part 2. For a few seconds, I couldn't breathe. It felt like the air had been sucked out of my apartment. Emily sat tied to the metal chair, her head hanging forward, her hair covering most of her face. She looked thinner than I remembered. Pale, dirty, like she hadn't seen sunlight in months. But it was her. The same freckle under her left eye. The same crooked front tooth she used to hate. My hand started shaking so badly, I almost dropped my phone. Emily Carter had disappeared 8 months earlier. We'd all searched for her, friends, family, volunteers. There were posters everywhere. Her parents were on the news, begging for help. The police drained a lake near town after someone claimed they saw her car nearby. Then, one day, the search just stopped. They said there was no evidence she was still alive. But there she was, on a live stream, on the dark web. The chat kept flying past on the screen. Is she the one from the news? No way that's real. Host better start the game. Game? My stomach twisted. The masked man stepped back into frame. He stood beside Emily and slowly turned her chair so she faced the camera. Emily squinted at the light like it hurt her eyes. For a second, she looked confused, then terrified. Her voice came out hoarse. Please, please don't. The masked man slapped a hand over her mouth. The chat exploded. Yes. Let her talk. Ask questions. Then a poll appeared beside the video. First round, option A. Ask her questions. Option B. Truth test, option C. Silence her. Next to each option was a cryptocurrency price. People started sending payments. I watched the numbers climb. $40, $120, $300. My stomach turned cold. This wasn't just a live stream. People were paying to decide what happened to her. I slammed my laptop shut, then opened it again 2 seconds later, because if I closed it, I'd lose her. The votes finished tallying. Winner. Ask her questions. The masked man walked to the camera and held up a small tablet so Emily could read the chat. Her eyes moved slowly as she read the messages scrolling by. Some people asked things like, "Where are you from?" Others were worse. "Do you think anyone is coming to save you?" Emily's lips trembled. I don't know where I am, she said weakly. Please, if anyone sees this, tell my parents The masked man ripped the tablet away. Then he turned her chair again so she faced the camera directly. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. I opened Google. Emily Carter missing her old news articles popped up instantly. I clicked one. The same photo appeared on the screen. Her smiling high school graduation picture. Freckles, crooked tooth. My chest tightened. It was her, no doubt about it. I looked back at the live stream. Emily lifted her head slightly. Her eyes scanned the camera. And for a split second, she froze, like she recognized something. Then she leaned forward as far as the ropes allowed. Her voice came out cracked and desperate. Tyler? My blood turned to ice. She was looking straight into the camera, straight at me. Tyler, if that's you, please. The masked man suddenly grabbed her by the hair and yanked her backward. The chat exploded with laughing emojis. But I couldn't even read it, because my brain was screaming one thing over and over. Emily knew I was watching, and somehow, she knew exactly where to find me. Part 3. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it was going to break my ribs. Emily had just said my name. Not help, not someone. My name. Tyler. My hands hovered over the keyboard as my brain raced through every possibility. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe she knew thousands of people were watching and guessed someone she knew might see it. But deep down, I knew that wasn't it. Emily had looked directly into the camera, like she knew exactly where I was. The masked man shoved her head down and stepped in front of the camera again. The chat kept flying past. LOL, she thinks someone cares. Next round. Truth test. Another poll popped up on the screen. Round 2. Option A, truth test. Option B, fear test. Option C, end stream. The prices were higher this time. Way higher. My stomach twisted when I saw the totals climbing. Hundreds of dollars. Thousands. People were paying to torture my best friend. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. My finger hovered over the call button. But then a horrible thought hit me. What would I even say? Hi, I found my missing friend on a dark web live stream. By the time they believed me, it would be over. The votes finished. Winner. Truth test. The masked man walked over to Emily and pulled something from his pocket. A knife. The chat erupted. I felt sick. He crouched beside her and held the blade under her chin so she was forced to look at the camera. Then he spoke for the first time. His voice was distorted through a cheap voice changer. Emily, he said, let's play a game. She shook her head weakly. No, please. If you tell the truth, he continued calmly, you stay alive. The chat flooded with messages. Ask her about the night. Yes. Do it. The masked man turned the tablet toward her again. Emily read the messages, her face slowly drained of color. Then the man leaned closer to her ear. Tell them what you did. Emily started shaking. I didn't mean to. My stomach dropped. Didn't mean to what? The masked man tilted the knife slightly. Tell them about the lake. My mind exploded with confusion. The lake? The one the police searched? Emily began crying. It was an accident, she whispered. My heart started racing. What accident? The masked man turned her chair so she faced the camera again. Tell Tyler, he said. Emily looked up slowly, straight at me. Tears streamed down her face. Tyler, I'm sorry. My entire body went numb. For what? I whispered to the screen. Her voice shook. That night, 8 months ago, when we were driving home. The memory slammed into me instantly. The party. Emily insisted on driving. It was raining, dark. We'd argued about something stupid. Then she kept talking. You fell asleep in the passenger seat, she said quietly. My breathing stopped. You didn't see the man crossing the road. Cold spread through my chest. No. You didn't see when I hit him. My vision blurred. Emily sobbed. I panicked. I drove to the lake. I pushed him into the water. The room around me spun. Tyler, that man, she swallowed hard, was his brother. The masked man slowly stepped into frame beside her. Then he removed his mask. My stomach turned to ice because I recognized him immediately. The man from the missing posters around town. Daniel Mercer, the brother of the man who died that night. The death the police ruled a hit and run by an unknown driver. Daniel stared directly into the camera. Into me. I knew you'd watch eventually, he said calmly. My blood ran cold. What? I whispered. He smiled slightly, then he pointed to the camera. To everyone watching, he said, meet Tyler. My heart stopped. Daniel held up a second tablet, and on it was my full name, my address, my phone number. The chat exploded. How'd he find him? Oh, shit. Round 3, Daniel leaned closer to the camera. "You were in that car too," he said quietly. My body went numb. "You helped cover it up." "I didn't know," I shouted at the screen. But he couldn't hear me. Or maybe he didn't care. Daniel picked up the knife again. But he didn't point it at Emily. He pointed it toward the camera. "Don't worry," he said calmly. "This isn't the end of the show." The live stream timer suddenly changed. Next stream, 24 hours. Daniel smiled. "Tomorrow night," he said, "we meet Tyler." The screen went black. The chat disappeared. The site shut down. I sat there in silence, heart racing, hands shaking, trying to tell myself it wasn't real. Then my phone buzzed on my desk. Unknown number. One text message. A photo. It was my apartment building, taken from across the street. Underneath the photo were 6 words. "See you tomorrow, Tyler." I saw my brother on a dark web live stream, 10 years after he disappeared. Part 1. My brother disappeared in 2013. The police called it a runaway case. They said 17-year-olds leave home all the time. They told my parents not to panic. But Caleb wasn't like that. He wasn't the type to vanish. He played hockey, worked weekends at a grocery store, and spent most nights in the basement playing old video games with me. We shared the same room growing up in a quiet town outside Bozeman, Montana. Then, one night in November, he just didn't come home. His car was found 3 miles outside town on a logging road. Keys still in the ignition, driver's door open. No blood, no footprints, no Caleb. For weeks, search teams combed the woods. Helicopters flew overhead. Volunteers walked the mountains with flashlights. Nothing. After a year, the police quietly stopped investigating. My parents never really recovered. But I kept looking. Not every day, not obsessively. Just whenever I saw something strange online. Which is why, in 2023, 10 years later, I ended up somewhere I shouldn't have been. The dark web. It started with a message board thread. The post title read, "Private Stream, Real Missing Persons." Normally I'd scroll past garbage like that. But something about it caught my attention. Probably because the thread had hundreds of comments. People arguing. Some saying it was fake, others saying it was real. One user wrote, "They rotate victims every week." Another said, "Last stream had someone from Idaho." Underneath the post was a long .onion link. I stared at it for a while. Then curiosity won. An hour later, I had Tor running on my laptop. The page that loaded looked incredibly simple. Black background, white text, a single video window, and a timer counting down. 0 hours, 2 minutes, 18 seconds. There were already 342 viewers. A chat box scrolled rapidly beside the video. Usernames looked disturbing. Iron Collector, Pay to Play, Night Buyer, Black Bidder. People kept typing the same thing over and over. Hope tonight's good. Anyone got Bitcoin ready? Let's see the new one. My stomach tightened. New one? The timer hit 0. The video feed flickered on. It showed a concrete room with dim yellow lighting, like an old storage basement. There was a mattress on the floor, a metal table, and a camera mounted high in the corner. The picture quality was terrible. Then someone walked into frame. A tall man wearing a black coat and a full ski mask. The chat exploded instantly. Host is back. Yes. Start the bidding. The masked man dragged a chair into the center of the room. Then he walked off camera. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then he returned, dragging someone with him. The person's hands were tied behind their back with rope. Their head was covered with a cloth sack. My chest tightened. This had to be staged. Some kind of twisted performance. It had to be. The masked man shoved the person into the chair. Then he slowly pulled the sack off their head. The man underneath blinked in the harsh light. Long hair, thin beard, sunken eyes. He looked older, more worn down. But the moment I saw his face, my entire body went cold. Because I knew him. I knew that face better than anyone. Even after 10 years, even after the police said he was probably dead, the man tied to that chair was my brother, Caleb. And he was staring directly into the camera. Part 2. I stopped breathing. For a full 10 seconds, I just stared at the screen, hoping my brain was playing some cruel trick on me. But it wasn't. The man tied to the chair was Caleb. My brother looked older, but there was no mistaking him. The same crooked nose from when we used to play street hockey. The same scar under his eyebrow from when he fell off his bike when he was 12. Except now he looked broken. His cheeks were hollow. Dark circles hung under his eyes, and he kept blinking like the light hurt. The chat exploded with messages. New guy looks rough. Where'd they grab him? Host better start the round. Round? My stomach twisted. The masked man stepped back into frame and grabbed Caleb by the hair, forcing him to face the camera. Caleb winced. Then he slowly lifted his head. For a moment he looked confused, like he didn't understand where he was. Then he saw the camera. His eyes widened slightly, and something changed in his face. Recognition, but not the kind I expected. Not like he saw me. More like he realized whoever was watching. The masked man held up a tablet in front of him. Caleb read the screen. I leaned closer to my laptop, heart pounding. The tablet showed the live stream chat, thousands of comments scrolling past, people watching him, judging him, buying votes. Suddenly a poll appeared beside the video. Round 1. Option A. Ask questions. Option B. Memory test. Option C. Silence him. Each option had a cryptocurrency price next to it. Bitcoin, Ethereum. The numbers started rising immediately. $80, $150, $420. People were paying to decide what happened to my brother. My hand started shaking. 10 years. 10 years we thought he was dead. And he'd been trapped somewhere like this. The voting ended. Winner. Ask questions. The masked man shoved the tablet closer to Caleb's face. Answer them, he said through a distorted voice filter. Caleb swallowed. His voice sounded weak. Okay. The chat filled with questions instantly. Where are you from? How long you been there? Do you remember how you got here? Caleb stared at the tablet for a long time. Then he looked at the camera. I'm from Montana, he said quietly. My throat tightened. I don't know where I am. He blinked slowly. I think it's been years. The chat filled with laughing emojis. Someone typed, ask him why he ran. The masked man read the comment aloud. "Why did you run away from home, Caleb?" My chest tightened. That question again. The one everyone asked back then. Why would a normal kid disappear overnight? Caleb's face suddenly changed. Fear. Real fear. "I didn't run away," he said quickly. The masked man tilted his head. "Then what happened?" Caleb's breathing sped up. "I was driving home. There was a truck behind me. It kept flashing its lights." The chat slowed slightly. People were listening now. "I pulled over on the logging road," Caleb continued. "There were 2 men. My stomach twisted. They said I hit something." The masked man leaned closer. "What did you hit?" Caleb looked straight into the camera, and for a second, it felt like he was staring through the screen. "I hit a man," he whispered. My heart skipped. The masked man nodded slowly. "And what did you do after?" Caleb looked down at the floor. "I didn't know what to do." His voice shook. "So I called my brother." My blood ran cold. My brother. Me. Caleb looked up again, straight into the camera. His voice cracked. "Ethan, if you're watching, I'm sorry." My entire body froze. Because I never told anyone that. Not the police, not my parents, not a single person. That night in 2013, Caleb did call me. And I told him something that changed everything. The masked man slowly turned toward the camera. Then he pointed directly at it. "Don't worry," he said calmly. "We know Ethan is watching." My heart nearly stopped. Then the host held up another tablet. And on the screen was my full name, my old Montana address, and a message typed across the top. "Round 2, Ethan's turn." Part 3. My entire body went cold. My name sat there on the screen for thousands of people to see. Ethan Walker. Underneath it was my old address in Bozeman, the house I grew up in. The chat exploded instantly. "Oh shit. The brother is watching." This just got good. I couldn't move. My hands hovered over the keyboard, but my brain felt frozen. How did they know? How did they know I was watching? The masked man stepped closer to the camera. His distorted voice sounded calm. Too calm. "Ethan," he said. My heart hammered. "We're glad you joined us." Caleb's head snapped up. His eyes widened with panic. "No," he whispered. "Don't bring him into this." The masked man ignored him. Instead, he turned the tablet so Caleb could see the screen. Caleb read the message, then slowly lifted his head toward the camera, toward me. His face looked hollow, exhausted, defeated. "I told them not to find you," he said quietly. My chest tightened. "What are you talking about?" I whispered to my empty apartment. The masked man raised a finger. "Let's refresh Ethan's memory." Another poll appeared. Round 2. Option A. Play the call. Option B. Ask Ethan. Option C. Show the accident. My stomach twisted when I saw the vote totals rising. People were throwing money at the screen. Hundreds. Thousands. This wasn't entertainment for them. It was a game. The results appeared. Winner. Play the call. The masked man tapped something on the tablet. Then a familiar sound filled the live stream. A phone ringing. My phone ringing. My chest tightened. Then I heard it. My own voice, from 10 years ago. Caleb, why are you calling this late? I felt like I was going to pass out. It was the phone call, the one I'd tried to forget for a decade. Caleb's voice on the recording sounded younger, panicked. Ethan, I hit someone. The chat slowed. People were listening. I don't know what to do, Caleb said on the recording. I heard my younger self sigh, the moment that ruined everything. Caleb, listen to me, my voice said. Is anyone else there? No. Then leave. My stomach dropped. Drive home. Don't say anything. Caleb looked down at the floor. On the live stream, he whispered quietly. You told me to leave him there. The recording continued. What if he's dead? Caleb asked. My voice answered immediately. Then you definitely leave. The chat exploded with reactions. Oh shit. The brother covered it up. This is gold. I felt sick. Back then I thought I was helping him, protecting him. But the masked man paused the recording. Then he walked slowly toward Caleb. You see, he said to the camera, my brother didn't die right away. My heart stopped. Caleb looked up slowly. The masked man removed his ski mask. My stomach twisted, because I recognized him instantly. Lucas Hale, the brother of the man Caleb hit. The man the police said died in a hit and run that same night. Lucas stared into the camera, into me. He was alive when Caleb drove away, Lucas said calmly. My blood ran cold. Caleb started shaking. I didn't know, he whispered. Lucas tilted his head. But Ethan did. My chest tightened. No, I muttered. Lucas picked up a second tablet and held it toward the camera. It showed a map, a blinking red dot. My current apartment building. My heart nearly stopped. How? Lucas smiled slightly. You logged into the stream. The chat filled with messages. Round 3? Go get him. This is crazy. Lucas turned back toward Caleb. You've had 10 years to think about what you did. Caleb closed his eyes. I'm sorry. Lucas looked at the camera again. But Ethan hasn't. The live stream timer suddenly changed. Next stream, 12 hours. Lucas walked toward the camera until his face filled the screen. Don't worry, he said quietly. We'll finish this tomorrow. The screen cut to black. The site disappeared. The live stream ended. I sat there in silence, heart racing, trying to convince myself it was impossible, trying to believe he couldn't actually find me. Then my phone buzzed on the desk. One message. Unknown number. A photo. It was my apartment door, taken from the hallway outside. Under the photo was a single sentence. Your turn, Ethan. I saw my missing sister on a dark web. Live stream part 1. My sister disappeared in 2016. Her name was Kayla Bennett, and she vanished from Spokane, Washington, just 2 weeks after her 19th birthday. The police called it a runaway case. They always do. They said teenagers leave home all the time. They said she probably just needed space and would turn up eventually. But Kayla wasn't like that. She worked mornings at a coffee shop near Gonzaga University and spent most evenings at home, watching trashy reality TV with our mom. She hated driving long distances and barely left town unless someone went with her. She definitely wouldn't just disappear. But one night in August, she did. Kayla texted our mom around 9:30 p.m., saying she was heading home from work. She never arrived. Her car was found 2 days later behind an abandoned strip mall near the edge of town. Driver's door closed, keys missing. No sign of a struggle, just an empty car sitting in the dark. For months, the police searched everywhere. Nearby woods, the river, even construction sites around town. Nothing. Eventually, the case went cold. Flyers disappeared. News stations stopped talking about it. And slowly the world moved on. Except me. My name is Dylan Bennett. Kayla was my little sister. And I never stopped looking. For years, I searched anything connected to missing persons cases. Forums, discussion boards, random websites people claimed had information the police ignored. Most of it was garbage. Conspiracy theories, fake sightings, people trying to get attention. But one night in 2024, something strange showed up on a forum I followed. The post title read, "Private Stream, Real People." Underneath it was a strange .onion link. Most people in the comments assumed it was fake. But one reply caught my attention. The user wrote, "Last week's stream had someone from Washington." My stomach tightened. Washington wasn't a small place. But something about that comment stuck with me. I stared at the link for a long time. Then curiosity won. About an hour later, I had Tor open on my laptop. The page loaded slowly. Black background, white text, one video window, and a countdown timer. 0 hours, 1 minute, 54 seconds. There were already 280 viewers. A chat box scrolled beside the video. Usernames looked disturbing. Cold Trader Pay-Per-View, Night Market Blind Watcher. People kept typing the same things over and over. Is this the new one? Hope tonight's good. Get ready. My stomach started twisting. Get ready for what? The timer hit 0. The video flickered on. It showed a dim concrete room, bare walls, one hanging light, a mattress on the floor, and a metal chair sitting in the middle of the room. The camera angle looked like a security camera mounted in the corner. The chat suddenly exploded. "Host is here. Start it." "Yes." A man walked into frame. He wore a black hoodie and a full ski mask. Without saying anything, he dragged the chair closer to the center of the room. Then he stepped out of frame. For a moment, nothing happened. Then he came back, dragging someone with him. The person's hands were tied behind their back with rope. A cloth bag covered their head. My chest tightened. The masked man shoved them into the chair. Then he slowly pulled the bag off. The woman underneath blinked in the harsh light. Her hair was messy, her face thinner than I remembered. But the moment I saw her, my entire body went cold, because I knew that face instantly. The same green eyes, the same tiny scar on her chin from when we were kids. Even after 8 years, I would have recognized her anywhere. The woman tied to that chair was Kayla, my sister. And when she looked up at the camera, her eyes suddenly widened, like she knew exactly who might be watching. Part 2. For a moment, I couldn't move. I just stared at the screen, hoping my brain was making a mistake. But it wasn't. The woman tied to that chair was Kayla, my little sister, 8 years older than the last time I saw her, but still unmistakably her. Her hair was longer now, messy and tangled. Her cheeks looked thinner, like she hadn't been eating enough. Dark circles hung under her eyes. But it was her. My hands started shaking so badly, I had to grip the edge of the desk. The chat exploded with messages. New girl. Where'd they get her? Start the round. Round? The masked man stepped beside Kayla and grabbed her shoulder, forcing her to face the camera. She squinted into the light like it hurt. Then she noticed the camera. Her breathing quickened. The masked man held up a tablet so she could see the screen. I leaned closer. The tablet showed the live stream chat. Hundreds of people watching her, commenting, paying. Suddenly a poll appeared beside the video. Round 1. Option A, ask questions. Option B, memory test. Option C, silence her. Each option had a cryptocurrency price beside it. The numbers started climbing fast. $90, $240, $600. My stomach twisted. People were paying to decide what happened to my sister. The vote ended. Winner. Ask questions. The masked man pushed the tablet closer to Kayla. Answer them, he said through a distorted voice filter. Kayla swallowed hard. Her voice sounded dry. Okay. The chat filled with questions instantly. Where are you from? How long you been there? Do you remember how you got taken? Kayla read the messages slowly. Then she looked toward the camera. I'm from Washington, she said quietly. My throat tightened. I don't know exactly where I am. She blinked like the light bothered her. It's been years. The chat filled with laughing emojis. Then someone typed something that made my chest tighten. Ask her about the night she disappeared. The masked man read the comment aloud. Kayla froze. Her face slowly drained of color. Tell them, the masked man said calmly. Kayla shook her head weakly. No, please. The masked man leaned closer. Tell them about the parking lot. My stomach dropped. The parking lot. The one where her car was found. Kayla's breathing got faster. It wasn't supposed to happen, she whispered. The masked man tilted his head. What wasn't? Kayla looked straight at the camera, and for a moment, it felt like she was looking directly at me. Dylan, she said quietly. My heart nearly stopped. She remembered me. She knew I might be watching. I didn't run away, she said. My chest tightened. I met someone that night. The chat slowed. People were paying attention now. He said he had information about a job. Said he saw me at the coffee shop. The masked man nodded slightly. And? Kayla's hands trembled against the ropes. When I got to the parking lot, there were 2 men. Cold crept up my spine. They said I hit something. My stomach twisted. What did you hit? The masked man asked. Kayla's eyes filled with tears. A man? My mind spun. What? They said I ran him over earlier that night, she whispered. My heart pounded. That's impossible, I muttered. Kayla shook her head slowly. I didn't remember anything. I thought maybe I blacked out while driving. The masked man leaned closer. So what did you do? Kayla's voice cracked. I panicked. The masked man turned toward the camera. Then he slowly reached up and removed his ski mask. My blood turned to ice because I recognized him instantly. Trevor Hale, a name from the news years ago. His brother had died in a hit and run the same night Kayla disappeared. The case was never solved. Trevor stared directly into the camera. into me. "She didn't kill him," he said calmly. My stomach dropped. "What?" I whispered. Trevor smiled slightly. "I did." The chat exploded. "Wait, what?" "This is crazy." "Round 2? Trevor stepped closer to Kayla. "I needed someone to blame," he said. Kayla started crying. "You kept me here for 8 years for that?" she whispered. Trevor shrugged. "Revenge takes patience." Then he turned back to the camera. "And now..." He held up another tablet. My blood ran cold, because on the screen was my full name, Dylan Bennett. Underneath it was a second line, my current address. The chat went wild. "Brother found. Go get him. This is insane." Trevor pointed toward the camera. "You've been searching for her for years," he said calmly. My hands went numb. "How do you... You were easy to track." Kayla looked up suddenly. Fear filled her face. "No," she whispered. Trevor smiled. "Don't worry," he said. "This stream isn't over." The timer on the screen suddenly changed. Next stream, 24 hours. Trevor leaned close to the camera. "So tomorrow night," his eyes locked onto the lens, "we bring Dylan into the story." The live stream cut to black. The site disappeared. The chat vanished. I sat there frozen in silence, heart pounding, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. Then my phone buzzed on the desk. Unknown number. One photo, my apartment building, taken from the street. Underneath the photo were 4 words. "Found you, Dylan." I found my dead dad on a dark web live stream. Part 1. My dad disappeared in 1994. I was 9 years old. The last time I saw him, he was standing on our porch in a faded flannel jacket, lighting a cigarette while the sun went down behind the trees. We lived in a small town outside Duluth, Minnesota. One of those quiet places where nothing bad was supposed to happen. That night felt completely normal. We had meatloaf for dinner. My dad joked that my mom had used too much pepper again. Afterward, he stepped outside for a smoke like he always did. 10 minutes later, my mom went to call him back inside. The cigarette was still burning in the ashtray, but my dad was gone. At first, nobody thought much of it. Maybe he went for a walk down the road. Maybe he stopped to talk with a neighbor. But he never came back. Police searched the woods for days. Volunteers from town joined in. Dogs combed the area. Helicopters circled the forest. They found nothing. No footprints, no blood, no car. No sign he had ever been there at all. Eventually, the police told my mom what they tell a lot of families. Sometimes people just leave. But my dad wasn't the type to walk away from his family. He loved my mom. He loved me. Our whole life was in that small house. Still, after a few years, people stopped talking about him. Life moved on. But the mystery never left me. By 2002, I was 17 and living in Minneapolis. I worked nights at a small computer repair shop while taking classes during the day. The internet was still the Wild West back then. Chat rooms, weird forums, strange websites that looked like they were made in someone's basement. One slow night, my coworker Nate showed me something new. "You ever heard of hidden networks?" he asked. I shook my head. He installed a browser called Tor on one of the shop computers. Suddenly, we were browsing pages that felt wrong. Forums selling stolen credit cards, guides for hacking bank accounts, anonymous chat rooms with thousands of users. Then we found something else. A page titled Live Rooms. Nate smirked. Probably just pirate streams. He clicked one. The video took a long time to load. When it finally appeared, it showed a dim concrete room. A single light bulb hung from the ceiling. In the center of the room was a metal chair bolted to the floor. Someone was sitting in it. A man. His hands were tied behind his back. His head hung low like he was barely conscious. Beside the video was a chat window filled with messages. People were betting. $50 he passes out. Make him talk. Bring the mask. My stomach twisted. What is this? I asked. Nate shrugged. Probably fake. But then the man in the chair moved. Slowly, he lifted his head. The camera was grainy and greenish, but something about his face made my chest tighten. I leaned closer to the screen. The man had a long beard and messy hair, but there was a small scar above his eyebrow. A scar I recognized instantly. My heart started pounding. No way, I whispered. Nate looked over. What? But I didn't answer, because the man turned toward the camera, and I saw his eyes. Dark brown. The same eyes I saw every day in the mirror. My hands started shaking. That's him, I said quietly. Who? My dad. Nate stared at me like I was crazy. But then the man looked straight into the camera. His lips moved slowly. 2 silent words. Help me. Footsteps echoed somewhere off screen. A door opened behind him. A tall figure stepped into the room wearing a black hoodie and a white plastic mask. The chat exploded with messages. Yes. Start. Do it. The masked man grabbed the prisoner by the hair and forced his face toward the camera. And for the first time in 8 years, I heard my father's voice, weak, barely a whisper. Tommy? My name. Then the screen suddenly went black. The page refreshed. 3 words appeared. Session completed. I sat there frozen. My dad had been missing for 8 years. And somehow, I had just seen him on a dark web live stream. But when I tried to find the stream again the next night, I discovered something even worse. My dad wasn't the only missing person on that website. Part 2. I couldn't breathe. Let's see if Subject 42's son is watching tonight. The masked man said it clearly into the camera. Not guessing, not joking. He knew. The live stream cut out seconds later, but the words kept echoing in my head. He knew I was watching. Nate slowly leaned back in his chair. Tommy, we should probably shut this down. But I shook my head, because suddenly everything made sense. My dad hadn't just been mouthing random words earlier. North Shore Road. That wasn't random. That road ran along Lake Superior just outside my hometown. The same area where my dad disappeared in 1994. If he had been trying to send me a message, then whatever basement I saw on that stream might still be there. The next morning, I packed a bag and drove 6 hours north. Back to the town I hadn't visited in years. North Shore Road looked exactly the same. Long stretches of forest, old cabins, abandoned sheds near the water, places nobody would ever think to search. I drove the entire road once, then twice. That's when I saw it. A rusted steel door built into the side of a hill, half hidden behind thick pine trees. My heart started pounding. I parked down the road and walked toward it. The closer I got, the worse the smell became. rotting, like something dead. The door wasn't locked. It opened with a long creak. Concrete stairs led down into darkness. At the bottom was a single room, concrete walls, a hanging light, and a metal chair bolted to the floor, exactly like the live stream. But the room was silent, empty, except for one thing. A body sitting in the chair, my dad. His head slumped forward, rope still tied around his wrists, his beard long, his skin gray. For a moment, I just stood there, hoping he'd move. But he didn't. He'd been dead for a while. I stepped closer and noticed something in his hand. A small folded piece of paper. My hands shook as I opened it. The writing was messy but familiar. My dad's handwriting, it said, "If you found me, I'm sorry." Under that were 2 more words. "He watches." Then I heard something behind me, a loud creak. The steel door upstairs slowly closing. Heavy footsteps started walking down the stairs, and a calm voice echoed from the darkness above. "Welcome back, Tommy.